I'm with next Lexi Noel, who is a host and influencer, and she was also on Catching Kelsey back in 2016. So we're going to chat about what she's up to now and her experience on the show. So welcome, Lexi. Thanks for coming on.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to chat with you. So we can talk first maybe about the show. So how did you get into it? How did you get on?
It's so crazy because when I got onto it, I was actually still in college. I was like 23, and
Okay.
the show filmed in around like March or April, but they started casting for it in like November. So I turned 24 in December, and we still didn't know like, okay, am I gonna get on the show? Like there was no like, oh yeah, we're gonna start shooting soon. But by the end of January, they were like, yeah, we need you to fly out here in like 2 weeks and come out. And how I initially got into the show was that it was like a Facebook group or like a Facebook ad. They were looking for 50 girls from 50 different states to date a NFL player for a TV show. And I was like, you know what? I'm in college. I'm just going to try to do it. Like, why not? So
Yeah.
I did it. I had to fly out to California. I had to get interviewed by like 20 producers at once. It was like very scary for like a 23-year-old. But yeah,
Yeah, I can imagine. That
yeah.
is exciting. So it sounds like it's a longer process than what people would think. Because I feel like sometimes you assume, oh, I'm going to sign up for a show. Maybe it's a couple months.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I feel like every show is kind of like a little bit different, but the production company that we worked with, it was kind of like also it wasn't with a network yet. So I didn't know if they were like trying to get it picked up because like Love Island's with I think HBO, Netflix or something, like every reality show has like a network behind them. But with them, we're like we're still shopping it around. So I feel like with shows like that, they take like so long. We filmed it in April, didn't come out till October. And we didn't even know if it was even gonna come out because nobody was giving us like any like indication like if the show was actually gonna come out or not. So we were all like, did we just like all film for a month long for no reason?
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so
It's
crazy.
wild.
So what were your first impressions of Kelsey?
Oh my gosh. At first, when we first met him at the house, actually on the field, he was just like really funny. And it's so crazy because I really did not know like the NFL world or like what he did or like how big he actually is. So when I first met him, I just felt like I was just meeting like a guy friend in college. Like I was just like, oh, hey. But he was so funny and so sweet. And he just completely remained like that throughout the whole entire film. Like even when the cameras were off, he was just like, waving at us because he's not allowed to talk to us unless the cameras are on. So
Okay.
yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah,
Yeah, he seemed really sweet during the show. Like his personality seemed like very humble, like not really.
yes. He like wasn't like that cocky like NFL player literally at all. He was just like friendly. He reminded me of like a class clown kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah, like a fun, flirty kind of vibe.
yeah.
And do you think that there was anything like going on behind the scenes that didn't really get shown during the show? Or do you feel like it was all very accurate as to what was going on?
You know what is so crazy is that when the show came out, all of us girls kind of remained in contact, and we all kind of had like little watch parties at like our apartments and stuff. And a lot
Yes.
of girls were like really upset about how they were portrayed, which
Mm,
was really weird to me because I don't think the girls realize how they were portrayed as like how they really actually are in real life.
okay.
And I think it really highlighted them, and it was so wild because they were like, "Oh my god, aren't you upset that they showed that of you like saying that and then ended up being this?" And I'm like, "No, because in the moment I really said that, and then it ended up being untrue." So, yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of times you hear about that or anyone going on a show, like maybe they feel like producers play a role in things being made
Yes.
or something like that. Or do you think sometimes people just don't realize how they're coming off in the moment?
I think it like depends on like each show. With this show, it oh so sorry. With this show, it felt like very authentic to each person. And
Uh-huh.
I think a lot of the girls that went on there too, I really love them all, but their personalities were a little bit hard to get along with sometimes.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
think, it really highlighted it. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are you up to now? I know we just talked about how you moved to New York.
Yes. I moved to New York City actually like last summer. I've been wanting to move here since like December 2021. But like the pandemic like was still kind of going on, kind of not. And I was just so afraid I wasn't gonna like make friends, be able to go out. It was winter time. So I moved here in July and I was like, I'm just gonna like rent a penthouse for like 2 months and just like invite my friends and just like have the best time ever. So now I'm like known as like the penthouse princess online, and everybody can like I had a penthouse party almost every weekend for like 2 months straight. And now I just live there like on and off. Like right now I'm at my boyfriend's apartment in Connecticut, and then I go back down there. I just like I do both.
Oh, I'm in Connecticut too. Where are you?
Oh my God. I'm kind of like by Greenwich, like maybe like 10 minutes outside of it.
Oh, I love that area. That area is beautiful. It's so pretty.
Oh my God, it's amazing. I
Yeah.
always go there. I think we eat at like that one restaurant on the corner. I think it's like Mediterranean food or something. I forgot what it's called.
So delicious. So you have a boyfriend now. How was dating after the show?
Dating after the show was like very, very, very weird because I instantly got thrown into like a WAG role. And like all these NFL players like just wanted to start talking to me. They were flying me out everywhere, like whining and dining me. It was like so weird because I went from like frat boys who literally couldn't even give like an F about me to like NFL players like bringing me to like the Bahamas. And I was like, what is going on? It was so weird. I was like 24 and I was like, I'm dating like 5 NFL players, like 2 NBA players right now, like talking to all of them. And it
Wow.
was really wild. So
You have advice for any girls who are looking to date, like,
athletes,
yeah,
oh
like
God,
don't date?
oh no. I say do
You
it in
know?
your I say date athletes in your early 20s, have like fun and like not use them, but just like have fun time with them. But
Mhm.
I always say like be careful if you're actually gonna like get into something serious with them or like be married to them because I have so many friends who went that route and now it's just like a whole hot mess. And not every athlete is like that, but some of them just have it's like the athlete like stigma, you know.
I mean, it must be hard
Yeah.
because they're traveling, they have beautiful women around them 24/7. And like
All
we
the
said, we don't
time.
need to judge people, not everybody does that, but there's a lot of like temptation that comes with it.
There's so much. I remember I went to a party with one NBA guy who's actually still active in the NBA league, and he brought me there. We were hanging out, whatever, and then instantly, like another girl came over, and he just like left me there and went over and got her number like in front of me and everything else. And I was just thinking, like, this is
Mm,
not the vibe I want. I'm gonna have fun with him and like hang out with him and do whatever, but I
right.
I don't want this. So it's kind of like it's weird. It's like young guys who are hot. They have a lot of money at a very young age, and they kind of can just do whatever they want.
I feel like that's good dating advice to give young girls. Like, know what you're getting yourself into.
Yes.
Understand the situation. If you're just gonna have fun, know that you're just having fun.
Yeah.
Like know what it is so that you don't get hurt.
Yes. I say if you're gonna date an athlete as a young girl, one, know what you're getting into. Two, just have fun. Just be easy with it. You don't need to make it something serious unless it becomes that. And three, just know in the back of your mind, like take in the memories because you might end up with somebody who can't give you this life, or maybe somebody older. You don't know where it's going to lead you to. So just have
Right.
fun.
Yeah, just have fun with it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of dating shows now since Catching Kelsey. Are there any that you would be like, oh, well, you're not single now, but let's say if you were single, are there any that like jump out to you? Like
It's
Love Island to me looks so fun.
I know. I actually auditioned for Love Island. I auditioned for the F Boy Island thing. I recently auditioned for Summer House on Bravo. So like it's
Oh,
so cool. It's
sounds
like
so fun.
I know I love it too. I didn't get it unfortunately, but maybe like they might, I don't know. But it's so weird because after the Catching Kelsey show, like you're right, all these dating shows started popping up. Then they all
Right.
started to get huge, like bigger than us girls have ever gotten. Like I've been able to like really make a name out of myself and like keep my brand going. But some of the other girls weren't. And I'm like, if that show happened today, I think all of us girls,
Oh
like
my gosh.
Francesca and all
Yeah.
of them,
That would
it's
have been wild.
nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. If it happened today and this time, yeah, it would have been wild.
Yeah. So I think our show was like an amazing show. It was just like not the best timing for a dating show. Ugh, it
So
makes
how
me
do
so
you,
sad.
yeah. So how do you think that you keep yourself and your brand relevant as an influencer? Because I feel like being an influencer? It can be such a competitive market and everyone's kind of like fighting to stay at the top or stay relevant. Like what are some tips? Like how do you feel like you keep yourself like through your content, how you engage, like all of that?
I feel like how I keep myself more relevant is that I've been able to like move with the times. So I've
Mhm.
always been known online as kind of like more of like an it girl, where it's kind of more lifestyle based. Like I'm always like eating at this hot spot or going here or wearing this or going to a Prada party. So I think I've been able like through my content to be like, okay, the same makeup I wore in 2016, the same outfits are not going to work now. Let me
Right.
go ahead and see what's trending and then just like try to make it my own, you know?
And so to keep up with trends, you say you use social media.
Yes, to keep up with trends, I actually use Pinterest the most, which is like so wild because I feel like people use like TikTok these days to keep up with trends, but Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram sometimes, but I'm really trying to transition more over to TikTok now. So
Yeah, for sure. So
yeah.
going back, you said you auditioned for Summer House. Are you keeping up with the Vanderpump Rules, all the stuff that's going on with them?
Yes, it is so crazy because I actually auditioned for Vanderpump Rules over quarantine.
No.
It's so, you know what is so crazy to me is that I keep getting so close to every single show and then it just not happening. And it's so wild to me. I know if it's like something else is meant for me or like what's going
Right.
on, but it's just so weird because what I'm seeing in Vanderpump right now, I don't want to like give anything away, but I will say that when the producers were or whoever was interviewing me about it, they kind of were asking me about something like what Raquel and Tom Sandoval have going on right now, but between Jax, Brittany, and a potential girl. They were always like, "Oh, like is Jax cute to you? Like, how do you like Jax? How do you?" I'm like, um,
Oh.
yeah, he's like okay. Like I know he's like married to Brittany, so I'm like, why are they asking me this?
So they want to see what kind of like triangles, what kind of
Yes.
things they
Yes,
can
and this was
find.
back in like I think 2020. So I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I'm just gonna say it because I'm not gonna.
Yeah. So when you have these interviews to potentially be on the show, are there any contracts that you have to sign, like anything?
No, literally no contracts at all. They just have you fill out a form saying like your birthday, just like general information. They just ask you like, oh, what kind of people are you into? You're into girls, guys, this, like just
Yeah.
random stuff. And then yeah, I don't really ever see anything on there, so I have no idea.
I watched the reunion this morning.
Oh my God. I watched it last
You
night.
watched it last night. So what do you think? I have like so many different opinions of it. Like
Me too.
first I think like Lala, oh gosh, I'm forgetting her name. Some of the other ones have all been involved in cheating scandals, right? I mean, I guess this is different.
Yes.
Ariana and Raquel are friends.
I know. It's
That's
so
different.
weird.
But a lot of them are not so innocent.
I don't think any of them are innocent actually because they've all like cheated or lied. I feel like that whole friend group has like inappropriately just been mixed, you know?
That's who I was thinking of. Sheena, when the show first started, she had that whole situation with Brandy's husband.
Yes, she's like a mistress, like an actual mistress. And so was Lala. So I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Like, I don't understand it. And I don't know. I get why James is also getting mad too about it, but I'm like,
Yeah,
James, like,
so
you,
funny. I love
like,
him.
what are you doing? I know. I love James so
He's so funny.
I think he's hilarious. I mean, I in a way like get why they're mad at Tom. I would be so pissed off if that was
Right.
my like quote unquote husband, but not actually like signed papers.
Right.
But also I'm like, you guys are such hypocrites. Like you guys have all done this. Like,
That's why I said too. I feel like I have mixed emotions because I can see why they're mad at Tom too. Because
yes,
I mean, that's like doing it to one of your closest friends.
literally. I
Terrible.
I just think that it was so weird because when they were all talking about like, oh, but it wasn't like my best friend. I'm like, yeah, but you still hurt other people when you guys like Lala, you hurt Randall's ex-wife when you did that, you know? Like there
Right.
was still people involved. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's
So,
bad.
oh yeah, yeah, it was crazy. I never really watched Vanderpump Rules until this whole situation. I saw it on TikTok.
Really?
It was so intriguing. It was so interesting.
I think I've watched it for a long time, but I kind of stopped watching it maybe around like 2018 or something. And then recently, ever since I got that interview with them, I was like, maybe I should like catch up with it. And then all this happened, and I was like, oh my God, wait, this is what they were like kind of telling me, but like, did it really happen? Like, what's going on?
Do you still keep in contact with the producers? Because you never know what could happen, right? If
I
you
know. I actually don't. My agent might. I have no idea, but yeah. I mean, I got another audition for another Bravo show, so maybe I'll be on Bravo. I don't know.
And so how do you get these auditions? If someone's watching and they're interested in kind of like dipping their toes into reality television, how do you start that process?
I feel like, well, when I first started, because it was on Facebook group, which is definitely not going to happen nowadays, I would say like Google auditions, try to find like a website, look on MTV.com, like try to go through an agent, or if you can't get an agent, try to like really research for yourself.
So what there are agencies that represent like influencers or
Yes. Um,
okay. Okay.
so the agent that I'm with, there's actually like multiple like categories in the agency that he's with. So there's like actual television, like real television actors, and then there's like reality and then influencers. So
Got
a
it.
lot of the agencies have like really opened up to influencers now.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you are in a relationship now. One,
Yes.
what I can see for you, the housewives, right?
I
Oh, they
okay.
started the one in New York.
I keep telling my boyfriend, I'm like, I feel like I can go in the New York City Housewives. Like, please let me be on there. Like, please. Because
Yeah.
they're all like young now, like all the new ones.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would love that. And I feel like my boyfriend is a real estate developer. So a lot of like big
Okay.
buildings going up and like White Plains and everywhere else he's like working on. So I feel like
Mhm.
that'd be like a cool dynamic.
And how did you meet the guy you're dating now?
It's so funny. So I went to like this bar and it's kind of close to Times Square. It's called Magic Hour. And
Ooh.
it's really cute. You have to go there. It's like all pink. I think it's owned by like the Tao Group. But I went there with my best friend Josh. He's gay. We were
Okay.
like, we're gonna have a girls and gays night. And then I saw my boyfriend there and he was sitting down with a friend. And I never approach guys like ever, but something in me was like, go over there. So I was like, I'll be right back, Josh. And Josh is like, okay, where are you going? I go up to my boyfriend and I like take his head and I'm like whispering in his ear, like, you're cute. And he like pulls out the chair and is like, sit down. And I was like, boop. And then yeah, that's basically how it happened. So
Yeah. And do you have advice for anyone dating in the city? Because I feel like I have some friends in this who like live in the city and they say that dating is like crazy over there.
oh my
Did
God.
you feel that way? Or did
It's
you?
so weird because everybody tells me that dating is like so hard to say, like it's impossible. I literally met my boyfriend when I wasn't even living in New York City yet. And then I literally came to New York and like me and him were talking. I was talking to like some other guys who like work on Wall Street and stuff. And everywhere I would go to, like I would just walk into CVS and they'd be like, hey, what's your number? Like, let me talk to you. And I'm like, wait, how is everybody saying dating is hard? Like, what is going on? So
That's
I don't
so
know if they knew it was like fresh meat, or something, but
yeah.
yeah, I don't
What's
have any advice. I feel bad.
yeah, so I in Connecticut, I mean, if you go out to different places, you'll have guys approach you, you'll meet people. But someone
Yeah.
told me to give Hinge a try. City is hard, but I feel like there's so many guys
Yes.
in the city who are looking to date.
Oh my God, every single man, like I'll even be like going to like Grand Central to come up here to visit my boyfriend. And guys will literally stop me in my sweatpants, like no makeup, like claw clip, and they're like, what's your Instagram? And I'm like, oh, I have a boyfriend. They're like, for how long? And I'm like, whoa, like what is going on?
What is going on? Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
And do you feel like people are like settling down at later ages? Like maybe they're dating, but they just want to have fun? Or do you think like there's guys looking for like the real deal?
I feel like there's definitely guys looking for a real deal. It's so weird to me because what I've seen mainly is like 40-year-old guys with like 26-year-old women, like in New York. Like all my girlfriends that are like engaged or like super wifed up, like all their boyfriends are like high 30s, mid 40s.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Really, like the men here definitely date a lot later. And women here, like I feel like they really seriously start taking dating in like their mid 30s.
Yeah.
But I feel like us girls, we're always taking it seriously. It's just like the men don't let us take it seriously until then, you know?
Yeah. You know
Literally.
who Shira7 is on TikTok?
Who?
Shira7.
No.
You have to, after this, you have to look her up. She gives
Okay.
advice. Oh, so funny. So funny.
Okay, I'm excited.
Similar to what you just said. So you have to check her out. She's so
Oh
funny.
gosh. Oh God. I love like seeing dating people on TikTok because I'm like, Huh, yeah, my boyfriend does do that. Okay, green flag, like check. Okay, good. Like, oh, thank God.
Do you feel like before you met your boyfriend, like you had a list of like what you were specifically looking for, and then he like the green
Yes.
flag he was checking off, or you just kind of met somebody and then there's that feeling that you just have for them?
Okay, so for me, like I don't really haven't told me this on the internet yet, but I was actually like engaged before to this guy who was like very, very, very wealthy. Like his family like hung out with like Princess Diana, like super wealthy vibes. And he cheated on me, completely like tore me down, and I actually had to go to therapy like all of quarantine for it over Zoom, obviously. And
Mm,
therapist is the one that like really put into perspective and was like, before you date again, like talk to different guys, figure out what you want. And I would like talk to her and I'd be like, you know what? I really did not appreciate when he did X, Y, and Z. And she's like, that right there is something you have to not look for then. When you see a guy doing this, just immediately be like, bye. So
right. Cut
I
him
think
off.
it's cut them off quick. I really think it's about like figuring out your boundaries, figure out your own red flags versus green flags, and then putting that into play. And if you really want somebody like super serious about you and you're not getting that, like change the way you approach guys, change the way you approach dating, and like really make sure it's benefiting you. Try to get a guy that's like more into you than you are into him. That's the key, I think.
Everyone says that.
Yeah.
That's all I see. That's literally advice that I've heard many times from like mom.
Really?
Yeah. Everybody's saying that to date. And then I always think like, shouldn't it be more equal? But then I guess like when life gets
No.
hard, the guy is going to be the one that's easily tempted compared to the woman, right? So you
So
want
true.
more.
So true. My boyfriend, I think he's good looking, but he's always like, I can't get a trainer, I can't get a pool boy. Like, you're gonna go ahead and like you're so hot, you're gonna be hot forever. Like, I can't. So
Yeah.
I truly think that, yeah.
Yeah. That makes the best relationship.
Oh, for sure. And my boyfriend's actually 5 years younger than me. So
Really? Wait,
yeah.
how old are you then? If you don't
Um,
mind me.
I'm actually 30 and he's 25, which
Okay.
is so
Okay.
wild because he was 24 when I was 30. And I was like,
That's so funny. My
I
mom and
know.
my dad, my mom is like, I think 4 years older. And she's
Oh
like, oh, give dating like a younger guy a try. And I'm like, maybe.
I think you should. I think the younger guys, I know it's like weird to say, but I don't think they have mommy issues, but I think they really like older women now, especially the
I
guys
think
in
it's
the
respect
city.
for an older woman who's not going to put up with any of their like bullshit.
Literally bullshit or anything. And I think they like mature faster. Like I see my boyfriend now, we've been dating for like 9 months, and I'm like, damn, you really grew up in the last 9 months. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
You're turning him into a man.
Yeah, you gotta get on it, girl.
So what are some of your goals now as an influencer?
Okay, so my goals now are kind of like shifting a little bit. I feel like in my 20s, I was all about like partying, like super tight clothes, like hanging out with like athletes and everything. And now I'm getting more into like my like New York City girl vibe where I'm like in Soho, like drinking matchas, Pilates, like it
Because
girl vibes, rooftops, like, just like all this different stuff. And like
yeah.
dating guys, and even my style's like changed now. You probably can't tell in this outfit, but
Well,
I
your outfit, I love it.
oh, thank you.
It's
I'm
giving
sorry.
housewives. I'm telling you. It's, it's just giving. It's giving classy.
I have to. I'm like holding it up, like boobs, everything, but it's okay. We're here. I I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, that's it.
Like your style, you're saying your style has evolved. Like you feel like you're moving in
Yes.
a direction.
It's so weird because when I look back at like my LA version of myself, because I lived in LA for like almost all my 20s versus my New York self, I feel like my LA self was like very immature, like how I said before, party type clothes. In New York, I'm all about like, okay, how can I better my life? How can I
Mhm.
portray that through my social media? So now I'm like doing my clothing line, which is coming out this year. I have my
Ooh, that's
own podcast, which
exciting.
I have to get you on my podcast too.
Yes. Yeah.
I would love that.
I would
Um,
love to.
Oh my gosh, yes. And then I'm gonna try to do like a couples channel with my boyfriend now. And like we also have a podcast coming out called Fashionable Money. And it's gonna be about money and pop culture.
Oh, I
So
like that.
yeah, he has a couple billionaire friends. So we're gonna go ahead and like get them on there and like kind of
Yeah.
ask them like, how did you start? How did you make your money? Like, what do you think about the new money versus the old money? So
Those are the people that definitely have the best advice, right? The ones who've done it themselves.
Oh my God. And they're like the best mentor ever. Yeah. So I'm excited.
Yes. And anyone that's watching, where can they follow you?
Oh, okay. So anybody that's watching, you can follow me on Instagram. It's at Lexi Noel with like 4 L's at the end of Noel. On TikTok, it's Lexi Noel 3. And if you just Google Lexi Noel, you'll literally find
Gonna pop
anything.
up all
Yeah,
your
it will pop up.
I love that. Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for coming on, Lexi. We're gonna have
Thank
to
you.
I didn't know that you were in Connecticut right now. That's so
Yes,
funny.
I'm literally here. I wish I could show you, but I don't want people to know where you live.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
But thank you so much for having me. I literally love you. We have to hang out and do something now.
Yeah, for sure.